Welcome to the Strictly Business audio experience.
3 on why an SEO audit is important to do regularly. Now, you may not even know what an SEO audit is, and I'll probably touch on that towards the end of the video, but those who do know what an SEO audit is, but you're not sure how regularly you should do that, then this is the video for you. So, first and foremost, I wonder where you're getting your SEO audits done. Are you hiring somebody to do them? Are you going on the internet looking for articles that provide checklists and guidance on how to actually perform your own checklists? Whatever the case is very, very important to do so regularly. And here's why. If your website is evolving, it's growing, it's becoming larger, you're incorporating more functionality, sometimes different functionality added to the website can actually break the website. Sometimes developers add and remove code, and that can change how URLs are potentially structured, could break internal pages. There's many different reasons why you need to perform a regular audit as well, because when the sites grow, are you optimizing those individual pages? Are you looking at Google Analytics regularly? Do you know what is your top performing content? Do you know which is some of the poor performing content? Why is it poor performing? If you're not even asking yourself those questions, then you won't even know exactly what to fix. So poor performing pages is one of my favorite things to look at, because I like to work out why are they poor performing. Is it because there's no keywords being targeted on those pages? Are they generating traffic, but the traffic is bouncing at 100%, so it's not reaching the searcher's intent? That's really important. So Google does a very good job at distinguishing that, but obviously it's still an algorithm, and so it's going to make mistakes from time to time. It's very important to first and foremost look at Google Search Console, Bing Webmaster Tools, and make sure the feedback you're getting from those two sites you're looking at regularly. Updating your XML sitemap at least once a month, preferred every time your website changes, and it should change regularly. Update your XML sitemaps and resubmit them to Bing Webmaster Tools and Google Search Console. Make sure they're added to robots.txt. I've encountered so many examples where even the robots.txt, right? So if you go to your website.com.au or .com/robots.txt, does it have the XML sitemaps listed? And actually, I've seen problems where developers have accidentally turned off Google indexing and Google crawling. And it was working 3 or 4 months before, and then all of a sudden the site stops performing in search, or you see a drop in traffic. That can happen. So just be mindful of looking at your robots.txt every month, updating your XML sitemap, looking at your top performing pages and your poor performing pages, and see where you can make changes. Some of my favorite tools to checking sites and my client sites every single month is obviously using ahrefs.com, monitoring broken external backlinks. So if you might have links to old pages that you haven't done 3-1 redirects. Screaming Frog is really awesome at for me, from a technical SEO perspective, Screaming Frog is my favorite tool. It breaks down the site architecture really well. You can look at such a wide variety of changes. It's actually worth encouraging your web developer to probably perform or to do checks after they've made changes to the site. Make sure there's no internal broken errors. Make sure you don't have duplicate content. If you have a lot of duplicate titles and descriptions, why? That can sometimes indicate problems. The canonicals being structured, how are they being referenced in your HTML source code? So there's a lot of reasons. This isn't necessarily a video about how to do a SEO audit. I've got some of them on the YouTube channel, so please do subscribe. But this is more about why you should do it regularly. And the algorithm changes and shifts as well. So you've got a web developer potentially breaking the site. Your website is growing. Make sure that the new pages aren't causing technical problems. And third, the algorithm is changing. So monitoring what you obviously need to prioritize. From my perspective, I'm a brand-driven SEO, so my biggest algorithm is the consumer demands. So sometimes updating old content is a really great idea. That's sort of like an SEO audit, because sometimes I've seen clients have websites that have pages as far back as 2006 and they've never been updated. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Anything older than, like, let's say 3 years or more, I definitely recommend giving a refresh. Now, you don't have to, because it could be what they refer to as evergreen content. But like any content that's got like lists, like, for example, it might be the top popular or the best engagement rings of 2017. Maybe it's time for a 2020 or 2021, or what are your predictions for 2021 in XYZ. So, but one of my favorite strategies is updating old content. That is like the bee's knees. So Google algorithmic shifts could mean that you may need to improve the page speed of your content. Make sure you're regularly checking how the mobile devices are rendering your content. So Ahrefs is a great tool. Screaming Frog is a great tool. Google Search Console, Bing Webmaster Tools, Google Page Speed, Google Mobile Testing Tool. And the last one is also checking your schema and how is that all sort of functioning, and is it working? Is it still showing the right sort of snippets? I think site audits as well as experiments within SEO are overstated by SEOs and underestimated by actual clients, and how important it actually is. So performing regular site audits is ridiculously important to do regularly. Websites have to change. You have to ask yourself, if your website isn't changing regularly, then it needs to. And then once you're changing it regularly, updating, creating new content, creating new videos, incorporating them into to your blogging strategy, generating links to the website, creating new functionality and trying to improve user experience, changing, maybe needs a design refresh. The website needs to be changing, needs to be updating, needs to incorporate more ways to improve user experience. And once you're doing that, then you need to be doing SEO site audits regularly. Make sure URLs aren't broken. The biggest problem is URLs breaking and ruining your external link value as coming from outside links. So there are many reasons why an SEO audit should be done regularly, but that's just some of the issues. And if you don't know what an SEO site audit is, one of the best articles to read on the subject I like, which is pretty basic in nature, is on Ahrefs, ahrefs.com/blog/SEO-checklist, and I will put a link in the description for you because I think it is a ridiculously awesome article from people that have no idea about SEO right down to intermediate. And I think it's a really well structured article, and it obviously gets updated regularly. And Joshua Hardwick is the author, and I think it's a really, really good piece of content. So guys, if you've got any questions, please let us know in the comment box below. And if you haven't already, listen to me now. If you haven't already, subscribe to this YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment below.
I am not the one, and I am not your Neo. I am not a hero, and I am not a hero.